Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where it is time for day 2 of the Wayne Sharp World Knife of the Year Awards. And today, we are taking a look at the best knives of the year for $69 up to $100. And this is yet again another list filled with budget bangers. And there's not going to be a lot of surprises in this one, you guys. I think you know what you're about to see. And I'll tell you right now, you're going to see Kizer, you're going to see Civivi, and you're going to see a few other names. But this category here is really dominated right now by Kizer and Civivi. But there are a couple other brands, one in particular that is gaining a larger and larger presence in this category as time goes on. And we're going to take a look at all of those. And there is maybe one surprise. And you know what? We're going to start off with that one surprise right now. And just so you guys know, we have our honorable mentions leading up to our top 3. And then, of course, we have our champion for this price category. And I do have my honorable mentions in order of probably my favorite, or you know, I wouldn't say like maybe my least favorite up to my favorite of the honorable mentions. But obviously, if they're getting an honorable mention, they're still a fantastic knife. But you got to put some type of order to this madness, right? So let's get going. First knife on the list is probably the surprise for a lot of you. It is the Begg Knives Mini Glimpse. Now, before everyone goes saying, oh, the gas station knife, stop with that ignorance. This is a phenomenal knife, and there are so many good things about it. First of all, the price. For $79, you are getting one phenomenally ground D2 blade with a razor sharp edge on this blade. Like I said, very nice deep hollow grind. I believe this was coming down to like 14 thousandths, 15 thousandths behind the edge. It is a laser beam, very, very slicey tip, nice swedge up here. And I think what turns a lot of people off with this is the aesthetics to some of it. But I also want to say that's one of the things I like most about Begg Knives is I met those guys this year at Blade Show Atlanta as well as Blade Show West. And they do a really good job of sticking to their brand and what they are, what they're about, what they enjoy, while also making incredibly well-made knives. And for a $79 knife, the fit and finish and action on this is as good as any Civivi or any Kizer out there. It's a perfect detint. It's a ridiculously slicey blade, and it even has some pretty darn good ergos to boot. So there is a lot of really good things about this. And for those of you that may not like the kind of this little milled area here with the circles and some of the extra little jazz it has going on, let me tell you right now, they actually have an updated version of this that's going to be coming out in, I believe, early 2024, if not 2024 in general, to where it's going to be a full flat grind. All of this stuff right here is going to be gone. So it's going to look a lot more like just your average EDC blade, but with still the same blade shape and the same like handle outline and whatnot. The handle's going to be a little thinner. It's going to be really, really cool. I'm going to do my best to get one on the channel as soon as I can because I really like that model. I like this model a whole lot, but I think the updates they're going to be doing to it are going to be, they're going to be very well received by a lot of people. But the Mini Glimpse, in my opinion, is a phenomenal knife, and it is easily a part of my favorite knives from 2023 in the $69 to $100 category. Next up, we're hitting a name that's a lot more familiar. It's the Kizer Sparrow. Now, there's 2 Kizer Sparrows. This was the first one. This is the budget edition. You may or may not be seeing the other Kizer Sparrow down the road in another episode of Knife of the Year Awards, but what I really like about this knife was, first of all, the uniqueness to the design. I mean, this is one of the smaller knives on this list. It's a 3-inch blade, but it's a design all by itself. This does not remind you, or at least me, it does not remind me of anything else. Like, this is the Kizer Sparrow. It's got that incredible Kizer micarta that I really do love. It's contoured. It has all types of extra contouring throughout the handle that just feels really good in the hand. Easy full 4-finger grip for me. Got a nice place for your thumb up here. No jimping, but as well as this handle sits in your hand, one of the few knives to where while I still want jimping, I'm not too upset about it not being there because it is a very secure knife in the hand. It's a great, like good little just beer budget knife. Got a very nice functional tip, great for EDC, nice aggressive tip, strong tip, but still relatively slicey. It also has a really good fidget factor to it because it has an excellent flipper that has a phenomenal detent, and that middle finger flick, very, very good on it. Just a great little design from Blackbird. Vince over at Blackbird Blades does a fantastic job. And yeah, this was definitely one of those budget knives that really stuck out to me this year, especially for 79 bucks. Yeah, really, really good. The Kizer Sparrow. Now, next up, we have another company to add to the mix. This is a CJRB, and this is the Riff. Now, the Riff, when it first came out, I really thought this could have been like the one in this price category. It was so good, coming in at 70 bucks. Excellent flipping action. This fuller here, ooh, the fuller is so good. So easy to middle finger flick this knife. It has some really, really nice lines on it. Really love how the handle sits in my hand. It's a very secure grip, and with that big curve up there, you have a very safe grip. There's really no way your hand could slide into the path of the blade. And again, just another beastly thicker blade that it would make a really good heavy user in that budget range around 70 bucks. And it just looks good. I mean, everything about it looks good. At the end of the day, when it comes to knives, especially nowadays, when you're talking Kizer and CJRB and Civivi and Vosteed, so many of them are going to have a lot of the technical parts that you look for in a knife nailed. So what it really comes down to is overall price, which all these are obviously, you know, relatively close in price. And so much of it just comes down to aesthetics and ergos, which can really be very specific to the person. I love the way this Riff sits in my hand, but someone may not like how it sits in their hand. Maybe they have a wider hand or a smaller hand, and they're just like, hey, it's not for me. But for me, this was definitely probably the best knife CJRB made in the $69 to $100 category. CJRB crushed the category for $69 and under. They crushed it. They didn't have quite as many in that $69 to $100 category, but this is definitely one. Great, great knife. The CJRB Riff, highly, highly recommend it, regardless of what you need it for, but it is just a good overall EDC knife. The CJRB Riff coming in 70 bucks, honorable mention on the Knife of the Year Awards. Next up here, we have a very new one from Kizer. This is the Dogfish. And this is one to where, you know, given a little more time, it could have moved up a little farther on the list. I really, really like the Dogfish. It is so different. And it's also one of the more expensive knives on this list. This is actually as expensive as you can get given the category. This is coming in at $99. Now, that 99 bucks though, it gets you a very, very nice milled aluminum handle that I think looks awesome. I love, this is not really a Doppler. If you look close in here, this is really a spiral that just keeps going out and out and out. And it looks more like a Doppler towards the end, but a really nice spiral milled pattern. It's got that button lock action that is so, so smooth. It's got all the deployment methods. You got your front flipper, which works great. You've got your regular flipper that's obviously great. You've got your middle finger flick. That is, for me, I think it's fine. Some people may have a little bit of an issue getting their finger in there, but you just kind of have to force it in there and kick it out, and it's really not that bad. So very fidgety. You got a very, very nice pocket clip there that works amazingly well, in and out of the pocket just fine. And then where they're really kind of flexing here, and this also has something to do with that $99 price tag, but the filler tab to move the clip from left to right, it basically matches the handle and it looks incredible. One of the coolest reversible clips I've seen in a while, probably next with like the Kizer Veritas, which you may or may not see on a later episode as well. But yeah, just a really, really nice execution of a knife under $100. You know, they could have very easily put S35 VN on this, made this titanium, and sold it for like, you know, $169, one whatever. But I like the fact that they kept this one under $100. Barely, but nonetheless, it is an Ergos. Oh man, this thing feels amazing in hand. Yeah, I think if I'd had this one for a couple more months, it may very well be up higher on the list. It could very well be in the top 3. So this one I really think is one that a lot of people should pay attention to, especially if you like a very fidgety knife. This is an amazing offering from Kizer. The Dogfish for $99, an honorable mention for Knife of the Year. We're going to go from Kizer to Kizer with another amazing offering here. This is the Clipper. And when it comes to pure front flippers for 2023, under $100, this is it. This is as good as it gets. It does not get any better than this one for a pure front flipper. You got knives like the Sakoki, but that has thumb studs. For just a pure front flipper, this Clipper is it for me. It is so amazingly well designed. This front flipper tab is just perfect. Who's the designer on this? Kingsford. I believe Kingsford Knives is the name of the guy who designed this. Never met him in person, but I'm, almost positive that K stands for Kingsford. Really, really good job. Reach around approved. And this version here is particularly my favorite. You got black aluminum with bronze anodized hardware and a CPM 3V blade with a satin finish. This is very classy. This is very much a gentleman's carry, in my opinion, and just so easy to pop that blade out. This guy here is coming in at, let's see here, $98, but then there's also a micarta version for $78 that has 154 cm. So you can get it for $78 or you can get it for $90 or $78 or $98, whatever you prefer. I really don't think you can go wrong with either one. I've handled both of them. I do feel like the aluminum handle one feels just a little bit different. Just got that little bit of difference to the action, but they're both incredible action. They really are both. I think the aluminum handle, like I said, I do prefer it a little more. I think the action is maybe just a tad, just a skosh smoother. But nonetheless, it is one phenomenal offering from Kizer. And like I said, the best pure front flipper under $100 in 2023 is definitely, without a doubt, the Kizer Clipper. It's a banger. It's a home run. Absolutely love it. The Kizer Clipper, honorable mention. And next up here is a Civivi. This here is the Civivi Synergy 3 drop point. Now I'm specifying the drop point version here because the other one had come out, I believe, in late 2022. This one came out, and I'm pretty sure January of this year. And man, oh man, this was in the top 3 for a very long time. The only reason it kind of came down was just, I guess based off the materials, I didn't really feel like this should have been a $93 knife. I think a lot of it has to just due to the royalties for the designer, which I don't have any issue with. I'm not saying that's wrong or right. I'm just simply saying $93 for this for, what was it, Nitro V? Yeah, Nitro V and G10. I don't know. I mean, I still really, really like the knife. I just don't think it's the best value on the list, I guess is the best way to put it. But value aside, it's a phenomenal blade, incredible action, really, really nice ergos. And I do like the milling on the G10. I know that it probably has a lot to do with the price because that's machine time. I get it. But regardless, this is a great knife, and it's probably going to be one of my favorite Civivis for quite a while. If this knife was to fall out of my top 10 favorite Civivis, I'd be pretty shocked, actually, because that means Civivi has some amazing other knives pushing this thing down the list because I really, really do like it. Everything about it, contoured, all the good stuff, all the milling, and a very nice, slicey, beautiful drop point blade shape that I am a really, really big fan of. The Kizer Synergy 3 drop point with an honorable mention in the Wayne Sharp World Knife of the Year Awards. Yeah, really, really like this one. It was hard for me to pull it out of the top 3. Next up here, we have a Vosteed sighting. Now, this is not the last Vosteed sighting you will see in this video. This one here is a big boy. And Vosteed, this is the Vosteed Gator coming in at $69 for this. As low as you can get in this price category, you are getting a big old knife with incredible action, 14C 28N steel on the blade. You got milled micarta with that frag milling. This is arguably the best value on the entire list. And it is an absolute pocket sword. Just a beautiful knife. And Vosteed is the brand I was referring to where when it comes to this category, you obviously hear Kizer and Civivi for the most part, but Vosteed is really making noise. And not just this price category, but also they're making some really, really good premium model knives as well in the $150 to $250 range that if you're looking for a good knife, whether you're looking to spend 60 or 70 bucks, or if you're looking to spend 200 bucks, you should definitely be looking at Vosteed. I love what they're doing over there. I do have a pretty good relationship with them. I consider Yudong a friend, really good dude, and just some good people working over there at Vosteed. So, yeah, they're just doing a really good job, though. Their designs and what they're doing, they're really pushing the barrier, and they're doing everything they can to put themselves up there with the Kizers and the Civivis. And they're doing a really good job of it. So they're well on their way, and I think 2024 is going to be a really big year for them. And it's going to be a pretty big year for me, too, because I got something really, really cool planned with Vosteed that some of you may know about. And if you don't, you will find out about it very soon. Give you my word on that. But the Gator is just an absolute hoss. Super slicey blade, about 16 thousandths behind the edge, and it is a big blade. Very, very good in hand, and it has all the deployment features. It's got the flipper. The front flipper is so easy on this knife for being this big. It really is pretty amazing. Middle finger flick is great. This is a banger. It's another one that was very, very hard to keep it out of the top 3. But nonetheless, for 69 bucks, it is probably the best value on this list, the Vosteed Gator. We have 2 more honorable mentions, and then we are in our top 3. But we're going right back to a Vosteed, and this is the Valkyrie. Now, this is one, I feel like it got some unjust hate from some people. And I'm not going to name names because it doesn't matter who said it. But some people were really kind of bashing this design, and I'm not saying it's the most fluent, best design in the world, but I think it's a really nice design. I think the blade shape is great. I think it works well with the handle. You have a fully recessed deep carry clip. You go left or right with it. It's got a button lock. I mean, it's got jimping. Well, what doesn't it have? I mean, come on. I really like it. And for, I believe, 79 bucks. Yeah, 79 bucks. You got all the deployment options, and they're all really good too. The only one that isn't perfect is the front flipper, but it's still very easy to get down, and it is reach around approved. So a lot of good things going for it. I mean, I was really surprised of how some people felt about this one. I really, really liked it. And I thought it was another great example of just what Vosteed can do. And they got more in the works for this guy here, too. You're going to be, I think everyone's going to be very pleasantly surprised with the next Valkyrie that comes out. I don't think that's going to be till probably like early 2024, maybe second quarter of 2024. But there is some stuff in the works for that. But this Valkyrie alone is just a great little EDC knife for 79 bucks. Nice blade length coming in around, I believe that's like 3.25 inches there. Slicey blade. You got a little bit of a choil up there. If you want to move up, you can do that. So yeah, a lot of good things for the Valkyrie. I like it. Let me know what you think of the Valkyrie. Do you like it? I feel like a lot of people liked it. I was just really surprised to hear some of the critiques and criticism on it. But that is the Valkyrie. And our last honorable mention of the list, the Civivi Sentinel Strike. And what the Sentinel Strike did for me was something that very few knives have ever done. It used a polymer on the handle, and it actually worked really well, and I love it. Now, granted, it's not all polymer. This little kind of like integral play back here on the back of this is technically one piece, but you can see a connection line. But it is still one piece. This is technically one piece of polymer on some aluminum, and it feels really, really good. It has a really nice blade shape. Wharncliffes are not my favorite blade shape, but I do like them a whole lot. That's probably the only reason this knife isn't in the top 3 is because it's a Wharncliffe, and I just prefer a little more of a belly on a true, like, everyday carry for me. But I really do still love it. It has a very nice tip for piercing as well as slicing, getting in there for any type of digging, and the choil gets you in there to do any type of detail work. Really, really nice cutout, makes it very easy to middle finger flick, and just the overall smoothness. The smoothness of this button lock is ridiculously impressive. And it goes back to what I was saying. Look at this. Oh, so good. Goes back to what I was saying about Civivi and their consistency with button lock greatness. They really have figured it out. Maybe I'll stop saying it because everyone's going to say, you say it all the time now, but it's very true. I mean, I do think Civivi is consistently making the best button locks on the market based off consistency of great action alone. And the Sentinel Strike is just an amazing example of that. Even got a little glass breaker back there, as you can see. Pretty decent clip that is reversible. So yeah, a lot of really good stuff for the Sentinel Strike. It's a nice big knife. Really do like it. And just another excellent addition to the Civivi lineup. And we got one more Civivi to take a look at, but not yet. Not yet. We are in the top 3, and the first knife coming in at 3rd place for the best knife of 2023 for $69 to $100 is the Kizer Brat. And this was kind of a last-second change. I just a couple days ago, I was going back through my list, kind of finalizing everything. And between this knife and the knife you're about to see in 2nd place, I was very torn between the two. I love them both, but I ended up moving the Brat to 3rd and the other one to 2nd, and you'll see that one in just a second. But this Brat it really is about perfected. I mean, for an $89 knife, the Kizer Brat with integral G10, you got some nice milling on the back for some extra traction. The button lock action on this it's as good as it gets. It's honestly as good as it gets. Maybe you'd want a little firmer detent, but man, oh man, that's really good. I'm struggling to really pick anything on this knife. It is a beautiful slicey blade. It really is a very clean and simple overall design. But man, oh man, I love that drop point blade. I love that little swedge up there. I like that almost full flat grind coming down to a razor thin edge. It's just an excellent, excellent knife. Again, $89 for an integral G10 button lock. It's a beautiful thing. It really, really is. Love me the Kizer Brat, and that is why it is 3rd place, the 3rd best knife I have come across this year for $69 to $100. But now let's get talking about number 2 and what knife that was. And this one's probably going to surprise some people unless you watch my channel. But I love this knife. This is the Kizer Doberman coming in at number 2. Let me hear it in the comments, but I love this knife. For $82, you get one nice, long, slicey blade that is it's a do-it-all blade. It really is. It's good for piercing. It's good for any type of EDC you need to do with it. It's got all the good jimping to where you can really choke up and do any type of work with this blade. It is just a beautiful blade that flows into a great handle, fully contoured G10, excellent finish on that G10, a recessed liner that is easy to get into, and that action. Ooh, that action is so good. This was running on multi-row bearings. The only thing that kept this knife from being my knife of the year in this price category is this clip right here. And I honestly do like the clip. Overall, like the feel in hand is good. The design of it is good. What really kind of holds it up for me is this right here. So what happens here is it goes in the pocket extremely easy, but you got to pull on it a little more to get it out of the pocket. Now, there's a double-edged sword to that. On the good side, when this goes in your pocket, I can guarantee you it is not coming out of your pocket unless you deliberately pull it out of your pocket. There's no way it's falling out, ever, under any circumstances, is it coming out of your pocket. But when you need to get it out, you kind of give it a good tug. And now I've carried this knife a lot, and I haven't had it mess it hasn't messed my pocket up. So it's not like it's a jeans destroyer, but it's a little bit of an extra tug when it goes to get it out. I really think I would love to see more Dobermans. I want to see new versions of the Doberman, but I would like to see a little updated clip to where instead of having that such abrupt little part right there where some of your pants pocket can get kind of like bulked up and like caught there to where you have to really pull it through. I'd like to just kind of smooth that little contact point out to where it's not such a straight up as to where it's more of just a gradual kind of going back up into the clip, so it comes out of the pocket easier. That's it. That was the only critique I had for this knife, and I didn't even really notice it was that big of a deal until after I reviewed it, because I obviously kind of knew it was an issue as I was reviewing it, and I did say a little something about it in my review, but it kind of got a little more annoying as I carried it. Now, granted, with that being said, it's still number 2, because I just can't get past how much I enjoy this knife. The ergos, it's some of the best ergos on a knife I've handled all year, especially under $100. It's easily one of the best, if not the best. So great ergos, great blade, solid materials for the price. Everything about it is a home run. Just a slight little change to that clip right there, and this probably would have been my favorite knife of the year. So the Doberman is an absolute banger in my opinion, and there's always a little room to get better, and that's it for the Doberman is the clip there. But this is just a fantastic knife, and for 82 bucks, it's an easy yes for me. At number 2, the Kizer Doberman. And this leaves us to number 1. And at this point, if you may be able to guess what number 1 is, because it was a very popular knife this year. It's the Civivi Vision FG. And this knife here, this is where there's been so many other people that have put this as their favorite knife of the year, for whether it be for their favorite knife period or their favorite budget knife or whatever. And while I do really like to be original and give you guys as much unique content as I can't do that at the cost of lying to you. And so I feel like I would be lying to you if I put any other knife at the top spot of this price category, because that's how good the Civivi Vision FG is. It's just everything. It's affordable. It is unique. It is fidget bliss. It is so good. This spine lock, the super lock, I believe is what they call it. It's just, I don't know how it can get better. I really don't. They literally, Civivi literally took the premium version of this knife and made it better, in my opinion, by putting this clip back here. That sealed the deal for me. This knife is so good for $79. It's easily the best knife of the year in this price category, and it's a real threat to be the overall champ of Wayne Sharp World Knife of the Year Awards, because it's everything. Like I said, it's everything. We got, Nitro V steel on the blade, excellent grind on the blade, super slicey, great blade shape. You got a little choil up there where you can move in and do any of the detail and all the close-up work you want to do. It feels great in the hand. While it is very neutral, it still feels good. Yeah, I love it. I would like to see some versions without the holes, though. I would love to see some versions without the holes. I don't necessarily love the holes. So yeah, maybe just some full slabs of who knows what, maybe milled aluminum or just flat micarta. Who knows? Something else. But yeah, even that aside, it's so fun. It's so good. It's just a perfect little fidget EDC knife. And I know some people are like, stop making a big point about fidget factor, but fidget factor is a real thing. For a lot of people, it's a real thing. So sorry, I'm not going to stop, because I like to fidget with my knives. And especially when it's this unique and this fun. This is literally the only knife in this price category, or even under $100, I think, that has a lock like this, a spine lock that is so fidgety, so good, so smooth. It's just, yeah, it's a home run from Civivi, and I'm so glad they brought a budget version of this. And yeah, this is very, very easily my knife of the year for $69 to $100, guys. The Civivi Vision FG. And that's it. We're going to bring them all out here like we did in the first episode. And now this is where you guys get to let me have it. Where did I mess up? What did I leave out? What should have been on here? What was up too high? What was too low? You tell me. Because this here is probably, I don't know if I want to say this for sure or not, but I could make a very strong case that this was the best category of the year, because you just get so many great knives at such amazing prices. I just don't know. You guys tell me how much. I know a lot of people love this price category because it offers so much for really not a whole lot. And we're running out of space again with knives. But yeah, this is just always one of the best categories of the year. And it did not disappoint this year. It actually finished really strong with knives like the Dogfish. So many good things going on with this, guys. Let me know what you think of this. What was your favorite knife of this price category? And yeah, maybe that, maybe this, right? Like that. It's fallen. That's okay. That's it, guys. These are your best knives of the year for $69 to $100. We went a little long on this one, but there's just too many good knives not to ramble and rant. Let me know what you guys think. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to bring you the next price category tomorrow, coming at you at 7 p.m. ET. And until that one, I'm out.